Welcome back to the garage. Today I'm going to be working on the roof for a little while. You get round this side, show you what I mean. Turn the airline off. Doing a bit of roof prep. This is my metal roof, and this one's going to get louvered. Same as the bonnet's going to get louvered. So it's going to get louvered in much the same way. When you're louvering a panel, if you don't do all the prep now for paint, once you've louvered, you're left with an absolute nightmare of having to get all of that paint off and sand it down and all that. So doing the prep now, and what I've noticed is at some point in its life, I think it's been bare metal painted, and the prep on the previous bare metal, you can see there's just rust underneath the paint everywhere, and that sort of manifests itself over time as tiny micro blisters sort of coming up through the paint. You can see it here, tiny little blisters. So in your nice shiny paint, if you haven't done the correct prep, a few years later you'll end up with rust, and then a few years later you'll end up with micro blisters showing up, and then all your paint's just going to be terrible. So one thing I'm learning from taking this car apart is prep is utmost important. This stuff, I found over time, I'll show you, I found over time this stuff, it's not an advert, I'm just telling it straight. Deox gel, it's built on hammer, and I think it's brilliant. It gets rid of rust completely. You can put it on, let it soak in for a little while, and then sand it off, and you'll end up with just nice clean metal. And it not just gets rid of the rust, it eats into the metal, etches it, and you end up with a really nice surface. So that's my little tip. I was given a little model of my car, and here it is. Little friend of mine who watches the channel, I've made him a copy of my car so he can take it home. It's got the same roof cut in it, it's got the same back end in it, and there you go, Freddie, have fun with that. Right, I'm not going to video me sanding this down, it's going to be 2 hours. I will show putting on the deoxide and get rid of the rust, because that looks really good, and then we'll have a nice flat roof. Damn thing is, then I'm then going to have to prime the roof, flat it off. I'm going to make a copy of this roof. I'm going to make a copy of the roof in fibreglass, and then that fibreglass is going to get covered in vinyl. So I'm going to have a vinyl roof insert. I'm then going to have the louvered roof insert, and then both of them can be stored in the boot when I want. So that's where I'm at. I only wanted to do this video just to show people the prep required when doing a car. You need to, if I'd have just painted over the top of this, flatted it off and painted it, I would have had all of that little rust coming through, maybe a year, and my paint would be knackered. So I'm going to have to take this car absolutely back to bare metal. So there you go, and I'll see you soon.